All right, today we're jumping into a huge seismic shift happening in the financial world. We're talking about something that could totally redefine what it even means to have a career in banking. Of course, I'm talking about AI and how it's not just some new tool, it's a force that's reconfiguring the entire industry from the ground up. Let's get right into it.
So let's kick things off with a number that's pretty tough to ignore. 200,000. That's how many banking jobs Bloomberg Intelligence predicts are going to just disappear globally in the next few years. And it's all because of AI. I mean, that's a shocking figure. And honestly, it's just the beginning of this massive transformation.
You hear this phrase all the time, right? AI is coming for your jobs. But in the financial sector, it's hitting particularly hard. This isn't science fiction anymore. For tens of thousands of people in banking, this is the new reality they're actually facing. So what's really going on behind these scary headlines?
Is this whole thing just about job losses, or is there maybe more to the story? To figure that out, we really need to dig into the data and see what's actually happening behind the scenes.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. A 2024 report from Citi breaks down the impact, and the numbers are just staggering. Take a look at this. Over half, a full 54%, of all banking roles are at high risk of being replaced by AI. And another 12% are going to be augmented, which, let's be honest, is a fancy way of saying the job is going to be completely transformed. This is not a small ripple, people. This is a tidal wave. So here's the crucial question. Is this purely about replacing people, just swapping out a human for a machine, or is something a little more complex, a little more nuanced going on? The answer, it turns out, is all about how AI is actually being used inside these companies. And this right here, this is the key distinction you have to understand. On one hand, you have automation. That's where AI takes over the boring, routine, repetitive stuff. Think data entry, running basic reports. But on the other hand, you've got augmentation. That's where AI acts as this incredibly powerful sidekick to enhance human skills, things like strategic thinking, creativity, and making those really tough judgment calls. And this is exactly the strategy we're seeing from the top firms. I mean, just look at this quote from Goldman Sachs. They're not trying to replace their best people with an algorithm. No way. They're using AI to supercharge their creativity and judgment. The very things that make us human and valuable in the first place.
So, this brings us to what we're calling the Great Role Reshuffle. Because this isn't just about jobs disappearing. It's about a massive, fundamental shift in the types of jobs that are now in demand.
Okay, look at this table. On the left side, you see the roles that are most vulnerable. We're talking back office, operations, data entry, routine customer service. These are the jobs that are heavy on repetitive, predictable tasks, which is exactly what AI is great at. But now, look at the right side. This is the future of finance. We're talking about entirely new jobs, like machine learning engineers who actually build the AI models, AI quants who can use AI to price incredibly complex financial products, and AI governance professionals who make sure all this tech is being used ethically and responsibly. These jobs aren't just in demand, they're absolutely essential. So this whole reshuffle creates this fascinating and kind of urgent new challenge. We have this huge demand for all these new roles, but there's a serious shortage of people who can actually do them. It's a classic skills gap, but it's happening on a massive scale. And the data completely backs this up. According to the World Economic Forum, a whopping 73% of financial leaders say the single biggest thing holding them back is a lack of AI talent. They have the vision, they have the money, but they just don't have the people. This quote from Caspian One's report really hits the nail on the head. The problem isn't just finding someone who can write code. It's finding someone who understands machine learning and the incredibly complex world of finance, with all its regulations, its culture, and its operational quirks. It's that rare blend of skills that is so valuable and apparently so incredibly hard to find. So what does it actually take to become one of these new finance professionals? Well, it's this unique mix of financial know-how and real AI expertise. We're talking about practical skills like MLOps, which is basically the science of getting AI models out of the lab and working properly in the real world, and natural language processing, the tech that lets computers understand human language to analyze news reports or market sentiment in real time. It's all about combining that deep financial knowledge with these powerful new tools. So let's zoom out to the big picture again. What does all of this mean for the entire economy? Well, the Bank for International Settlements has outlined two very, very different potential futures, depending on how this whole thing plays out. The first is the optimistic scenario, right? AI leads to this huge productivity boom, raising growth and incomes for pretty much everyone, and it's a relatively smooth transition. Then, there's the disruptive scenario. In this version, AI advances so fast that it devalues human labor, causing widespread job losses and some serious economic instability. The path we end up on really depends on the choices we're all making right now.
So, as we've seen, this isn't some distant future concept. The great reconfiguration of finance is happening as we speak. The roles are shifting, the demands are changing faster than ever. Which really brings us to the final and most crucial question, one you should probably ask yourself. Is your skill set ready for it?